Hey everyone, welcome to Balls Deep Sports Talk. I am your host, Scotty Ball, and I hope you're having a wonderful hump day evening. Now, just to get this out of the way, as you can probably tell, I am still recovering just a little bit of my voice yet from what we'll just call a wild weekend of fun this past weekend. But I will be coming to you anyway, three-quarters voice or no voice at all. I got to talk your sports to you here every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time on Northern Lights Radio at WNLMradio.com. Now, we got plenty of good sports action to talk about tonight, both upcoming and this past weekend. However, before we do that, if you have not followed the show on Twitter yet, please do so. You can find the show on Twitter at BDSTShow. Now, I'm bringing this up because I really want to start using the Twitter for the show as a way for you all to participate with me in real time as the show is airing. Also, it's a great way for you to stay up to date on current sports news as I tweet and retweet relevant going-ons in the sports world, or at least the ones that intrigue me and I feel compelled to share. And it's also a great way to stay in contact with me throughout the week, and a great way to get any possible show ideas, segment ideas I should say, or comments and feedback that you have incorporated into an episode of the show. So again, if you're not doing so yet, please follow the Balls Deep Sports Talk show on Twitter at BDSTShow. And of course, we are also on Facebook as well, so make sure to check us out on Facebook and like us and friend us. All right, well, we got a lot of sports to get into tonight. A lot has happened since last week's show, and a lot is still coming up in the future. So, whatever your particular favorite brand of sports be, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, fighting, golf, tennis, you name it, we'll probably be talking about it here in the show tonight. Maybe even a tiny bit of WWE, but I don't know. We'll see. So, for tonight's opening segment, which here on Balls Deep Sports Talk we refer to as Balls on Fire, I am going to be going almost as far off of the mainstream sports reservation as I possibly can. Almost, not quite, but pretty close. Now, you'll understand why when I say what the topic is. But tonight, Balls on Fire over Rhonda Rousey. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with that name, Rhonda Rousey is a female UFC fighter. That's why I said almost as far off the reservation for mainstream sports coverage as possible. Because it's not a team sport, it's mixed martial arts fighting, so that puts it out there for, alienating it in regards to normal fans. A lot of, mostly a hardcore fan sport, not a ton of casual fans, as in the major team sports. That's what I mean by that. But then also throw in the fact then that it's professional female sports. A lot of guys don't like to talk or listen to that in general either. So naturally, I looked at it as the perfect topic to start one of my shows with. But hopefully after we're done talking about her for a little while, you'll agree with me that she was a worthy choice to both talk about and start a show with. Now, what has Rhonda Rousey done recently that makes her relevant, newsworthy? One might ask if they're not following UFC or general sports on ESPN, if they don't see it across the ticker or whatever. Well, Rhonda Rousey is the UFC bantamweight champion, and she, this last weekend, defeated Kat Zingano in 14 seconds in the first round. Now, a little back history on Rhonda real quick. She was 10-0 going into the fight, is now 11-0. She is undefeated. She's the first and only ever bantamweight champion in the UFC, which she has been since, I believe, November of 2012. She's been steamrolling people, but they got this girl named Kat Zingano, who was 9-0 going into the fight, and was supposed to be by far her biggest challenge yet to date, which is the one knock on her resume, is she hasn't been very challenged because she's skill-wise so head and shoulders above where anyone else is in female MMA for the most part. So, back to this weekend, Rhonda is defending her title and her undefeated record against Kat Zingano and Kat's undefeated record. And to come out of the gate, Kat Zingano hits Rhonda Rousey square in the face with a running knee. Yes, a knee. And I mean, it wasn't just her knee touched her face that probably hurt a little bit. It was she smashed her knee into that other girl's face in what you would think would crush a person's face. But not Rhonda Rousey. Rhonda Rousey proceeded to immediately lock Kat up before she could even get her balance underneath her from that knee, threw her to the ground, rolled into position to put on her it is her signature finisher, which kind of makes her like a wrestler in a way, which I love. But she put on her arm bar, which is how she's won 9 of her 11 matches, is by arm bar. And boom, Kat taps out or gets her arm broken, so she taps out just like that. 14 seconds, over. Now, one could say that can't be much to appreciate in a 14-second fight. That couldn't be any farther from the truth, and this fight shows that perfectly. Because if you know the story going into the fight, Rhonda being the unbeatable beast, no one's ever been as good as her. She's pretty much defining the sport as she goes along in it. And then you've got Kat, the undefeated up-and-comer, who's finally worthy and ready and going to pose the biggest challenge ever that Rhonda's faced yet. Well, you could look at the submission result in 14 seconds and say, oh, Kat wasn't worthy, whatever. No, Rhonda's just that good. I dare anyone, professional MMA fighter included, but I dare anyone to have another human being run at them and lift their knee towards their face and crush the front of their face with that person's knee, and then respond the way Rhonda Rousey did, as if almost nothing happened. It didn't faze her or daze her or even knock her off her feet or even make her lose her balance. She simply used it as an opportunity to take advantage of having Kat in close proximity, wrapped her up, grappled her to the ground, got into position, and executed her submission move. I mean, what more can you ask from a fighter? You talk about taking somebody's best shot. She literally took Kat Zingano's best shot right to her face within the first 5 seconds of the match and brushed it off like it was nothing more than a mosquito bite. So, while a lot of people are looking at this fight and going, oh, well, maybe Kat wasn't as good as we hoped or thought she was, that's not the case at all. There should be no disrespect to Kat Zingano for her loss. Rhonda Rousey is just simply worlds better than any other female in her sport, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. Maybe, if ever. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, if you're wondering what's next for Rhonda Rousey, it is not going to be anything taking place inside an octagon. She happens to be a successful model and actress, as well as the most dangerous unarmed woman ever. So for her coming up here in the next couple months, she will be filming a movie. I know she was in The Expendables 3, whenever that comes out. If you're into the Expendables movies, I haven't seen either one of them, but I know they got Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Willis and all those huge action stars in them. And she is one of the lead females in the third one. So keep an eye out for that. She's also got other movies she's working on. I want to say she's going to be in the new Sharknado as well when that comes out. Which, for whatever reason, hey, they're getting to be really popular. So, another thing you can see her in. But as far as when she will return to fighting, it'll be 6 months, maybe 12 months, somewhere in that 6 to 12 month range, I would think, before probably her next title fight. It's somewhat of a problem for him right now. There are only 2 to 3 women UFC fighters that she hasn't destroyed yet that are even remotely worthy. One of them still needs more time. Another one isn't even in the UFC. They would have to bring her over from a different fighting promotional company, and this person would also have to cut down at least 10 pounds to make the 135 maximum weight for the UFC's bantamweight title. But it will be interesting to see who gets the next shot at the unbeatable Rhonda Rousey and when. And I will definitely be watching, and hopefully you will too, because this girl is a star and she is going to do big things for her sport. So keep an eye out for her. And you know what? Since we were getting to know Rhonda Rousey here, let's go over some fun facts on her that I got written down here yet too, just so that you can know almost as much about her as I do, if not as much or more. Alright, she is 28 years old. Her 14-second win in defense of her title this last weekend was the fastest time in a UFC championship match ever. And her win before that was in 16 seconds via knockout, so she's won her last 2 fights in a combined total of 30 seconds. Unbelievable. And she is main eventing these UFC cards, by the way, or main eventing these cards, which is incredible for a female in her sport, as well as the dominance she's displaying. She's not just a special attraction, she's the attraction on these fight cards. She started training in judo from her mom when she was 11, so that's when she started getting into training as a fighter in mixed martial arts. She has medaled in world judo competitions. She has participated on the United States Olympic teams in judo. She was the first ever American to win a medal in judo. She did that in 2008 when she won the bronze medal in Beijing. Oh, and her nickname is Rowdy, and a cool story behind that. People nicknamed her that, gave that nickname to her, and she did not want to use it in ring because she respected Roddy Piper of the WWE far too much and did not want to insult him or feel like she was taking anything away from him by using that nickname Rowdy in her name, Rhonda Rousey. Well, she ended up meeting Piper a few years back, and he gave her his full blessing to use the Rowdy nickname in her career. So now she has been doing that lately. And that also brings up the fact that she is a huge WWE fan, which makes me like her that much more. She is also into Pokemon and loves to play World of Warcraft. And then here's the kicker to go with all of those things. She is not hard on the eyes by any means. She's not unattractive. We'll leave it at that. She's not unattractive by any means. But anyway, congratulations again to Rhonda Rousey, and no shame to Kat Zingano. And keep your eyes out and focus on the UFC bantamweight division. Their women are on notice to all step up and improve and reach a level that is worthy of competing with Rhonda Rousey. And hopefully someone within the next 6 to 12 months can achieve that level and give Rhonda more of a run for her money and at least, make her go to two rounds would be nice. Getting a full round out of Rhonda at a Rousey fight would be fantastic for the UFC. So All right. Hopefully 10 minutes of talking women's mixed martial